Hello, guys. Today I would like to address one very interesting topic: dependents. Do you know who dependents in your applications are and how to include accompanying, non-accompanying? To describe all this, I invited Irene, our head of immigration department, just to address this specific issue because we observe it coming to light more and more because more and more applications we process and we definitely coming across this issue. So if we're talking about dependence, let's start from the beginning, from fundamentals. What's the definition of dependent in general?
So thank you, Dr. Alex. Dependents, in terms of your permanent residency application, are those people who can be a part of your application and immigrate with you at the same application. Generally speaking, dependents are your spouses, common law partners. Common law partners are those with whom you continuously live together for 12 months or more, and children. When we talk about children, it is very interesting point to touch because children in Canada, in terms of Canadian immigration, considered to be dependent if they are under the age of 22 and they should be single. If you have a child who is under the age of 22, but your child is married or in common law partnership, that child is not considered to be dependent anymore.
Well, this is great. If we take one step deeper and try to identify how those dependents present on your application, how we identify if they actually can come with you to Canada, what identify that position in your case, and that probably can be described as accompanying, non-accompanying person in your family, right? It can be spouse, it can be child, but what's the definition of accompanying, non-accompanying? What's the difference? Where is the red flag, as we used to say?
Indeed, it is very important to understand the difference between accompanying and non-accompanying family members. First thing to remember that all family members should be declared in your application. If some of your children they don't want to immigrate with you in Canada, they don't want to be a part of your application, you cannot simply exclude them and not to mention their existence at all. They should be declared. The same with your spouses. For different reasons, spouses could decide that at this point of time, they do not want to obtain permanent residency in Canada. It could be related to the business matter or some family personal circumstances, but they should be declared. And one main point to remember for all our clients is no matter if those family members accompanying or not, all information should be provided. They still need to obtain all personal details, all governmental forms should be provided. Those dependents, spouses or children, they need to complete their medical examinations, they need to submit their police certificates from different countries. So generally speaking, the only difference between accompanying and non-accompanying family members is that for non-accompanying, you would not pay government fees, and non-accompanying family members would not obtain permanent residency at the end.
Well, this is great actually because we understand the legal definition, but what about the, let's say, normal person, right? So somebody applying for Canadian immigration and saying, well, my spouse cannot come with me now, my children want to finish study. So we observe that, right? We see that sometimes people try to stretch own circumstances on legal um rules and on a legal case and try to impose their own common vision. What would be the biggest warning sign from us, and how would how would you address the question? Why should I show it to Canada? Why do I have to do this?
Okay, first of all, you need to disclose everything to Canadian immigration. Not disclosing any facts of your personal history or your family members is considered to be misrepresentation. You need to disclose everyone. Also, what you need to remember that not including, not mentioning to Canadian immigration that you have a spouse or a child will enable you to sponsor them in future. So if you do not declare that you have some children, forget about sponsoring them later on once you have your permanent residency. they will need to come to Canada and immigrate by their own, and still they may have some problems if they're declaring that you are their parents, and immigration will have questions to you why you didn't declare them. So that's kind of a tricky situation people can be found.
Yeah.
The main point is you always need to be honest. And the second point, why they need it, why Canada want to know about your spouse or child if they are not coming with you. That's simple. In Canadian immigration law, if your dependent is inadmissible in Canada on any grounds, let's say some criminal charges or medical inadmissibility,
yeah.
Inadmissible family member makes principal applicant inadmissible too. So they want to make sure that the main applicant is admissible to Canada.
Oh, that's great connection between the dots, and in people's mind, they have to understand. Sometimes people are looking for what we call independent source, and they dig into online communication and some anonymous reports and some comments on some kind of platform. It was a time actually before 2003, before the new act was introduced and implemented in Canada. It was possible, and the loophole was very popular for fictitious marriages and for convenient way to divorce and marry someone and come here, and then the previous person unexamined, and the whole 9 yards. So without going into past too much, I can tell you, today's reality for the last 20 years in Canada is such that you have to declare everyone, and those who you may consider admissible in the future or sponsor it in the future, they have to be examined. And thank you very much for your very wise dive into this, and I hope it helped our viewers and those who subscribe to our channel to get smarter and stay safer.
And to stay safer, get an advice from legal, licensed immigration professionals. Following this, we would like to offer you to comment under this video and let us know what are the topics of your interest. What would you like us to discuss? What would you like us to explain to you? Help us to help you. Stay safe, guys. Follow us, subscribe, and like this video.